Hi everybody, it's Katie, and today I'm here to talk to you about the audiobook that I heard this month, and that was This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Grace Earle. This book, I have heard so many things about this book for years. I am a fan of the Vlogbrothers. I do tend to call myself a nerd fighter. I've participated in Project for Awesome and Esther Day, and I know of Esther based off of the videos that I've seen John Green put out, but I've never actually been able to get my hand on this book that talks about her and her cancer and her struggle. And so finally, I looked at my Audible credit for the month and decided that that was going to be the book that I was going to listen to. I am so glad that I did. This book, while it was playing and I was cleaning and putting away laundry and doing this, that, and the other, had me crying. Esther Earle, if you don't know, is a girl that had some influence in John Green's story, The Fault in Our Stars. I've heard Q&As with John that says that he probably wouldn't have been able to fully write The Fault in Our Stars if he didn't have children, and I think that that definitely plays a part in it, but I also think that developing a friendship like he had with Esther before she died also played a huge factor into it as well. Esther Grace is known for being happy-go-lucky and always positive and always looking on the bright side of things, and never really let the world get her down. And she died when she was 16 years old. Her family around her, because the cancer went from her lymph nodes to her lungs to her bones, and it was very difficult for her to keep fighting, and she did. She fought until the last breath was taken from her. This book is actually, the majority of it is her journal that she was writing in right before that she died. And it has, I feel like I missed a couple little anecdotes because audiobook, they don't describe the photos or the images that are drawn in. So I definitely know that I missed off the bat some of that information. But this is the journal that was kept right before that she died. And it goes, you can see the different phases. She went from upbeat, happy-go-lucky to really depressed, and then she would kind of like swing back up. And I have a chronic disease. I know the pain of always being in pain, and it sucks. And that was something that I definitely connected with, and probably was a reason why I had just started bawling. It says on the cover that John Green wrote the foreword, and that's the first thing that you hear, and that is an emotional roller coaster as well. I was playing it on audiobook, so it took about 8 hours, which was good because I was running around my apartment cleaning. So that is really it for the non-spoilerly parts. So going into some spoiler-ing sections, one thing that I do want to talk about was the letters that they had like thrown into the book at the times that they did, where they had Lindsay, her friend, talk about an experience inside of the catarific chat, and then you would have her father stepping in and giving a psalm or a story that he remembers Esther by, and I think everything was very well placed. Oftentimes I would forget that this was a journal that I was listening to, that this was, I would think that this was kind of like a funeral service in a way, but like not one of those everyone is so morbid and down funerals, but one that is a celebration of life compared to mourning the dead. And so that's really kind of the biggest thing that I had here. The letters at the end. The letters from Mom, from Dad, from the older sister, from Lindsay. I cried originally at her death, as they described her death. And they gave her final words, and the struggle that she had through that, and the difficulty of making the decision to take the oxygen tube out. They knew that basically the oxygen was the only thing keeping her alive. I was not emotionally ready to hear the conversation that happened between the parents and the family in making the decision to take her off of the oxygen, which would very shortly lead to her death. It was just not something I was ready for, and I cried. Yeah, I cried. So I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And really it was a fantastic memoir of a girl and her struggle and the influence that she had on the world just by talking to one person. How thousands and thousands of people know her name without actually knowing her. How thousands of people tribute a holiday in the group, in the community that they live in, and they call it her day, and still celebrate it after she dies. Then she made a huge impact on a lot of people's lives, and most of them she didn't know. So Esther's name means star. Esther then reached for the stars and she landed among them. Before I cry, follow me on all of my different social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Goodreads. I also have a website and an email that you can contact me on as well. If you so choose, all of that information will be in the description box down below. That's all I have for you guys. Insert a creative outro here, and I will talk to you later. Bye.